Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Elevating Us podcast, where we discuss how to enhance and excel your personal journey. So, we are continuing the topic of self-care. This week, we are discussing how to establish a foundation of self-confidence and how that plays an important role in self-care. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. When it comes to self-confidence is the belief in oneself and their abilities, while also having a sense of competency and worthiness, and knowing that they can overcome life challenges and achieve their personal goals. Now, when it comes to self-confidence, we want to identify our strengths. So that can be our skill sets, our talents, and our achievements, amongst other things. But by identifying our strengths, it helps boost our self-esteem and provides a foundation for building confidence. Now, a part of building our self-confidence is facing our fears. Okay, so by facing our fears, we are getting out of our comfort zone and then confronting what is making us fearful. And every time we face our fears and overcome our fears, we'll gain a sense of confidence in our ability to overcome difficult situations. And even when we have not accomplished a certain task or a certain skill set, we then in turn learn from that failure. And instead of viewing that failure as a reflection of our abilities, we see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And then we want to embrace that failure as a natural part of the learning process. And by embracing that failure, it helps us become stronger and more resilient to face further challenges in life. The next thing that we want to do to build our self-confidence is be more assertive. Okay, so we want to stand firm in who we are and what we stand for. Being able to stand up for yourself and express your opinions, your thoughts, your needs in a respectable manner, okay? And the more that you stand up for yourself, the more that you become assertive in yourself and your values, the more confidence you have of knowing who you are and standing in your abilities, and then being able to take more control over your life and the things that you do. Now, all too often when it comes to self-care and building self-confidence, we think of the strengths and, overcoming our challenges and things of that nature. But what about the gentle part of self-confidence? Because when it comes to self-care, we want to make sure that we are being gentle and kind to ourselves, okay? So when we have this heart of kindness and this soul of gold, we want to take that and apply it to ourselves. So we want to practice self-compassion. And this basically means that we are being kind, understanding, and showing empathy to ourselves. And we acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes, but we are not defined by our mistakes and shortcomings, okay? Pay attention to how you talk to yourself, that inner voice inside yourself, and even, verbally talking out loud. Focus on how you talk to yourself. Are they kind words or are they self-critical thoughts and phrases that you are saying to yourself? Okay, so when it comes to self-compassion, we want to speak light into ourselves, okay? We want to speak positivity. We want to speak kind to ourselves and understand that we're not perfect, and that's okay. But what we're going to do is say kind, encouraging things to ourselves so that we understand mentally and emotionally that, yes, we make mistakes, but that does not define who we are. We are still a good person. We are still, encouraged and motivated and pressing forward and still believing in our abilities, that although we have made these mistakes, although we have had our shortcomings, we are still fully capable and worthy and still have value in being able to live a fulfilled life and a purposeful life, okay? With this self-compassion, we also want to cultivate gratitude, okay? Just being thankful of how far we have come. So this can come from those many reflections of where we just take moments, whether that be throughout the day or throughout the week, to just reflect and show gratitude for our journey thus far. Recognizing and understanding where we have started and how far we have come, and being able to accept our journey thus far, having a sense of appreciation even in the midst of difficulty. Okay, so you might be going through a challenging season, or you might be going through an uplifting season, a harvest season. But regardless of what season you are going through, you have an attitude of gratitude during that time, because you continue to overcome, you continue to achieve, you continue to get up each day and try it again and go a step further. Okay, and by showing a sense of gratitude to yourself and your journey, it helps shift your perspective and increase your feelings of confidence and your abilities to overcome and build resilience. Now, the next thing that we want to practice is forgiveness. When it comes to self-care, we can do the outward work as far as taking care of our skin, taking care of our hair, ensuring that we have a good wardrobe, or, driving a nice car, all the aesthetically pleasing things. But when it comes to self-care and doing the inner work, okay, so we do the outward work, but we want to focus on doing the inner work. When it comes to doing the inner work of self-care, showing that self-forgiveness, we do not forgive ourselves enough for our past mistakes and our shortcomings, okay? This is one area that we need to make a priority when it comes to our self-care journey. We have got to learn how to forgive ourselves for our mistakes. And what that means is you have released those feelings of guilt and shame that are associated with those mistakes. So we have to let go of the negative emotions that are associated with these shortcomings and these mistakes, so that we can learn how to heal. You cannot heal effectively if you are not forgiving yourself, if you're not releasing those negative emotions and that sense of self-blame and guilt and shame, okay? Part of self-forgiveness is being able to reflect on your true intentions, okay? What were your true motivations and intent that came behind the actions and these mistakes? And if these mistakes came from a positive and genuine place, but we just made the mistake, we want to take that, forgive ourselves, learn from it, and then use it as an opportunity of growth to improve ourselves and our personal development journey, okay? And then being able to make amends. Let's say that we made the mistake and it harmed someone, whether that be someone that's near and dear to us or it being an associate. We want to make amends. So standing up to that mistake and to that person, apologizing and making amends where appropriate, and then taking action to repair that mistake if possible. And by doing this and trying to make amends, it helps facilitate the forgiveness process, okay? And then moving a step forward, we want to set boundaries for ourselves. So that means that after we have acknowledged our shortcomings, after we have forgiven ourselves, we want to set a boundary to prevent repeating the same mistake in the future. Now, with setting the boundary, this can include changing your behavior, seeking support, or developing different coping mechanisms that will help you change the behavior of how you got to that mistake in the first place. And then the last part of establishing a foundation for self-confidence is just knowing your worth and value. By accepting and embracing all of our flaws and our imperfections, we are continuing our personal growth journey while knowing our worth and standing firm on our values. So even though we have these flaws and we have these imperfections and we've made these mistakes, we still know that we are worthy of a good life. We have value in ourselves. Just because we're not perfect doesn't mean that we don't hold value, okay? So you have to remember these things. And by remembering these things and accepting you for who you are and all the attributes that makes you who you are building a sense of resilience and worthiness, and knowing that you are worthy of a good life. You are worthy and you are capable of accomplishing many things, whether that be materialistic things or whether that be internal things and abilities. You are telling yourself that I am capable of doing these things. I am capable of withstanding challenges and overcoming. And by doing these things, you are teaching yourself self-care. You are teaching yourself how to appreciate and accept yourself, your journey and the future that is to come. And you stand firm and stand tall in who you are. The more that you do it, and the more that you understand and forgive yourself and show compassion to yourself, the more you are able to know your self-worth and being able to quickly remember who you are as an individual, and being able to accept and appreciate and love yourself and the life that you have. Okay. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of establishing a foundation of self-confidence and how that plays a role in your self-care journey. Okay. Self-care is personal care. We will see you next week, where we will discuss how to continue this personal growth journey and facing the ugliest of uglies. What does that mean? Find out next week. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see you next time.